You are listening to Horizon. Today, you would listen to the first part of the program, Rest in Peace, dealing with death during COVID times.
With academics like myself. There was Hari Vasudevan, the eminent historian, at the start of the pandemic. More recently, my colleague, Professor Manuvendra Bandyopadhyay of the Department of Comparative Literature, who acutely opened so many windows to the world for us through his engagement with the literature of distant lands, particularly third world countries like our own. In both cases, I have felt an acute sense of deprivation, of being unable to go to their cremation or to their homes, of sharing grief. It would appear that we now have to deal with death in a way that gives no closure. The medieval plague pandemic was very much like that. I've revisited some favorite medieval texts recently, particularly the opening lines of Boccaccio's Decameron, and I was struck by how similar the times were, even across a gap of 700 years, to what we are experiencing now. It already seems to be creeping into the writers of today. A thriller writer I'm rather fond of has already included the spectre of the pandemic into his latest novel. Margaret O'Farrell, in her recent novel Hamnet, about members of Shakespeare's family, has also included the plague as it recurred in Shakespeare's time. It is a dreaded awareness that has struck one with the power of a tsunami and seems to be retaining its tempo into an indefinite future. As an elderly woman who lives alone and enjoys solitude and loves good company, I have always felt I have some degree of control over my life. I wished also to have a degree of control over my death when it came, as of course inevitably it must. Some years ago, I gave my only child a list of do's and don'ts. I might add she's an adult and sometimes feels more like a parent than a child. I told her what to do with such property or personal effects as I might leave behind, how to dispose of my mortal remains. I wanted no religious observances. I wanted her and others close to me to go back as soon as possible to a joyful remembrance of things we had enjoyed together. Mountains and sea beaches, music and books, food and wine, laughter and adda. It made my adult offspring a little tearful, but it was also for both of us a discussion strangely liberating, even empowering.
It's not easy to make plans so calmly about death, especially if it involves the death of a beloved companion, as shared by Joya Bhaduri Kaur.
My husband, Mr. Probir Kaur, 64 years old, was a retired person, once a Mr. India title holder in bodybuilding, a social worker and a healthy man During the outbreak of pandemic, he selflessly started distributing food packets by himself along with other organizations for the poor and underprivileged people. But by doing this tireless work, he got disease which was unknown to us. After swab testing, we came to know that he is affected by COVID-19. After 12 days of fighting in ventilation, he breathed his last. Relatives deserted us, but during this dark 30 days of quarantine period, silver lining of rays came to us. Friends of Probir from Baliganj Place helped us with all the essentials like food and medicines. Since my son could not do the last rites according to Hindu rituals like Mukhagni or Shraddha, one Sadhu from Benares proposed to do all the rituals in Manikarnika Ghat, which is considered to be the most coveted place for Hindu cremation and doing all the rituals. This Sadhu was once met by Probir in Kailash Manas Jatra. However, after completion of containment period, the Janasevak Sangha with which Probir was associated organized an obituary meeting where residents of Baliganj Place and members belonging to different associations paid their homages. We got to know how Probir selflessly, with deep sincerity, worked for the organizations. From the experience sharing by different people, I got to know that he was not only the father of his son, husband of mine, overall he got the ovation from people of all walks of life. He kindled the light between the hearts of his associates, which they will bear throughout their lives. He will remain like evergreen image in their hearts. That was my consolation. Now I feel proud that I am a wife of such a great man named Probir Kaur, a COVID warrior.
Memories are the strings that attach us with the departed long after they are gone. Funeral rites are a way of making peace with grief. In Kolkata, there is an alley dedicated to coffin makers, locally known as Kaffan Gully. From coffins to pall,
My name is Mazharul Haq. We have a coffin shop in Park Circus, Behad Street. We sell coffin and coffin chadar, hairspan, all death-related service. Coffin are not used for COVID because the government has taken the responsibility to bury or cremation the dead body of any caste or any person. Government and Kolkata Municipal Corporation has taken the responsibility.
On the other hand, Mr. Ashim Kumar Biswas, Secretary, Christian Burial Board, laments the loss of the last services.
Death is always sad and mournful, but this crisis have added another dimension to it. Now COVID death, creates panic and a helpless situation. Our mind wants to cry, our heart wants to have a last look, wish to touch my dear one for one last time, but we cannot, we dare not. This inflicts a different type of pain and agony after a death. This was not the case earlier. Final rituals were a kind of saying goodbye, and now we don't know how to say adieu.
Regret often looms larger than the loss, as expressed by Dr. Nirmalu Roy.
It was 17th May when I lost my father. He has been suffering from neurogenic bladder along with cardiac problem. Due to COVID situation, I had to face lots of difficulties in my father's treatment and follow up. Being a person of medical fraternity, I know that every person has to die. But I couldn't arrange adequate treatment for my father. Not only that, as my father was admitted with respiratory distress, hospital authority claimed or tried to stamp that it was a COVID death. They were not agreed to release the dead body. Then I had to call the higher authority of the Department of Health and Family Welfare, and as per their instruction only, they agreed to release my father. And at the site of cremation, I had none of my relatives or friends due to lockdown situation. Me and my wife had to arrange everything. My father had a wish to donate his eyes and body, and again due to COVID situation, no one agreed to receive the same, and I again failed to keep my father's last wish. Lastly, in the condolence ceremony, no one could attend the program due to lockdown, and even local administration didn't give any permission for such gathering. Parents' death in any circumstance is an irreparable damage to the family. But in this COVID situation, guilt feelings is added to the ocean of sorrow. Lastly, I want to conclude that I will never forget that being a doctor, I couldn't arrange adequate treatment for my father, which would have saved his life.
Doctors are the frontliners of the COVID battle and are one of the most affected casualty as well. Dr. Aniruddha Deb elaborates on the dilemma of a doctor.
Doctors have to deal with death all the time. This is a part of their existence. But it is different when the death happens to someone you know. Different kinds of death can have different reactions. Some are expected, like in chronic illnesses that are known to end in death. Some unexpected and sudden, like in accidents. Some may be expected and yet sudden when we know about an illness and we are still expecting life to go on for much longer. Death leads to anger. This is part of the normal psychology of grieving, and people often blame the easy target, the last doctor who treated the departed person. This is yet another unwanted effect of death that doctors have to deal with in their own lives. When a doctor loses his own, it is more than what someone else feels. There is an extra feeling of what I might have done to save or avoid this calamity. This is all the more intense during this COVID-19 pandemic. We have had no end to the procession of deaths of people we know, we don't know, who are celebrities or faceless masses who had to walk back home directly or indirectly due to coronavirus and COVID-19. For example, the issue of unavailability of treatment facility at every level, doctors, hospital beds, medication, so on and so forth.
You were listening to Horizon, the first part of the program Rest in Peace, dealing with death during COVID times. Narration and interviews by Obhirupa Bhaduri. Edited by Shuranjan Das. Produced by Shampa Choudhury Khoshal. Do tune in for the second part of Rest in Peace.